Here we are again. President Trump walks out on Medal of Freedom ceremony for legendary wrestler, ex-Iowa coach, Dan Gable. We're talking about that right now. I'm politically confused. Thank you very much for joining me again. My name is Tom. Let's go. So, I'm sure a lot of people are going to take this as some sort of admission of my love for the Orange Man. We'll make it clear right here and now that I am not a supporter. But what this video is really focusing on is the just outright bullshit that gets put out by legacy media. And we're going to be looking at an article from NJ.com. It's one of the first ones I saw, and I figured I'll just use it because I've looked it over. One of the big issues with why I really just sort of started, or not one of the issues, one of the reasons I started really focusing on more news and politics this past year was because I was seeing headlines that made me mad, and when I read the articles, they weren't adding up. I'm going to try and illustrate that here and maybe break it down as to why you don't need to be as mad as this article or the tweets that you've seen want you to be. So, of course, he walks out of this ceremony. He's presenting the Medal of Freedom to Dan Gable. Questions are asked by the media. And in the video, he kind of does this and walks out, with his ass. You know that ass out hug that people do when you're friends? He kind of does, he does that walk. He does that right out of the Oval Office. So from the video, of course, it looks cringeworthy. It looks just awful. But then I was curious because I'm well, I know Trump is a bit of a douchebag in a lot of ways, and I thought well, what happened? So they post the transcript on here because here it says, after Gable received his medal, he gave a speech, and then the assembled press tried to ask Trump questions about attending the inauguration of Joe Biden and things of that nature. Trump wanted nothing to do with it and just walked out, looked agitated, leaving Gable and his family hanging in the Oval Office. If the description doesn't make it sound awkward, just look at Gable's reaction. We're not going to watch the video. You can watch the video that, in this one here, Aaron Rupar posts, who's just an idiot in general. Another person who just, this is a person who's really just looking for, the clicks, and it's not news. This guy doesn't put out news. So the transcript goes as follows. President, we're very proud of you as a nation, and thank you for doing such a great job. We appreciate it. Now, before I go forward, the video, when you watch it, makes it look like the president threw the Medal of, you would have thought he just threw the Medal of Freedom over his neck and was and left. The transcript paints a much different picture. So Mr. Gable responds, "We aren't done yet." There's an applause. "Do you have any questions for Dan? Please," he's asking the media. "John, for Dan?" Question for Dan. So many times college wrestling isn't appreciated in a way that other forms of wrestling are. Do you feel that this Lifetime Achievement Award for you fully recognizes the sport of collegiate wrestling? Great question for Dan. Dan goes on to answer. I look as an inspiration in that others will have something that's beyond just winning on the mat, that they'll be able to want to do something like this. And so it'll enhance our sport, because it isn't just right now, me and him wrestling and whoever wins the match gets a medal. It's more than that. It's that. And that's opens the door right now for a lot of people. Great answer. Next question. How does it feel to be in the Oval Office today? Mr. Gable responds, how does it feel? Question to be here. The one time I didn't focus on what I needed to do, I lost. So you'll have to ask them. Ha 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 ha. I don't know where I am. And the president responds saying, we're very proud of you, Dan, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. So now the focus comes right off of Mr. Gable. And the next question is, Mr. President, how is Rudy Giuliani doing? So I'm not going to read the president's answer because, well, if you would like to read it, you can read it. But it's his typical BS, ranting, non-punctuated sentence of just gobbledygook, He says, oh, he's great. He's the greatest mayor, whatever. He gets off a topic. And then the next one is, a week from now, Mr. President, the electors will meet to cast their vote. There's not a lot of time between now and then to make your case to overturn the vote. At this point, are you looking to change the outcome of the election or try to make the case of people that it wasn't fair? And of course, he goes on to say, oh, it's rigged, blah, 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 blah. But so here's the point. Because after this, he doesn't just leave, right? He says here, and very importantly, we're here for a different reason. We're here to present our highest award, our highest achievement, really something that really speaks to such incredible achievement, to a man who really is a great man and a great figure in sports, not just wrestling, in sports, of our greatest athletes of all time. And I just want to say it's an honor to be with you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. End. This is the part, this last paragraph I read is the part that that nobody really focuses on, and that's the stuff that makes me mad, because it wasn't just him walking out to disrespect Dan Gable. If I were Dan Gable, I would be pissed. I'd be like, I'm here for the Medal of Freedom Award, and you're over here asking this jackass about the election. Talk about disrespect. What Trump did was probably the worst way to go about it, or one of. But the news isn't reporting on what actually happened. They took out exactly what they wanted to happen, and they fed that to you and said, this is why you should be mad at this jerk off for leaving this Medal of Freedom ceremony. This is the kind of stuff that really pissed me off, and I'm sick of it. Everyone should be sick of it. Y'all just eat this up as if it's fact. And they put the facts right in the article. And this isn't exclusive to this particular article. You go on CNN and Fox and all these places, and they do the same thing. Their headline is to make you mad. The video clip they put at the top will piss you off, and then down below, almost at the bottom, and this is nearly at the bottom of this article, it's this is the end of the content. The rest is talking about Dan Gable and who he is. All the facts, everything you need to know, that the actual information, what happened. He was much more respectful of Dan than they would have you actually believe. But they leave this part out. Or they leave this part out of the focus. It's a lie by omission, and that you may as well have just lied outright. These are the things people got to be careful of, and it happens so regularly, and it just gets, just gets swept right under the rug. No one really is reporting on this. No one takes the time to read this. The most people are reading is a fucking tweet nowadays, and then we're lucky if people get any sort of information out of that. The tweet by Aaron Rupar says, "This is unreal. Trump abruptly walked out of Dan Gable's Medal of Freedom ceremony today, leaving Gable shrugging at a complete loss about what he was supposed to do." Not reporting on the fact that one person asked a question to Dan Gable, and then they immediately wanted to go to Trump about the election and about Rudy because he has COVID. He's probably sitting there going, why the fuck? No one's asking me questions about anything. What? Unreal. Again, I'm not defending how Trump acted in this, but I'm certainly pointing out the injustice of the media reporting. That is the issue. That is why people need to use their brain and start looking beyond headlines and video clips like this, because it's intentionally misleading, a lot like Charlottesville, and it won't, the actual events that happened leading up to this won't be reported on properly. Gosh, so angry. That's it for today. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Was this reported on properly? Of course Trump's a jackass. No one's debating that. But how are you feeling about the, mainstream media, like legacy news? Like how are people feeling about things being reported? Do you think it's being truthful? Do you think it's mostly truthful? Do you let me know. I would like to know in the comments below. Of course, as always, like the video, share it with your friends if you're enjoying what you're seeing. And of course, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell, as it helps you know when new video content goes up. We've been trying to put up a lot. Improvements always trying to be made. So again, I thank you guys for joining me, and that's it for this segment. Thank you.